What if one tiny mistake could turn the sky into a nightmare? On a clear afternoon over the Amazon, two aircraft, one massive passenger jet, one sleek private jet heading straight for each other at 37,000 feet. No alarms, no warnings, just silence until impact. 154 souls vanished in seconds. Yet one plane survived. How? What fatal chain of errors made the impossible happen? And why did the sky's safest system fail completely? This isn't fiction. This is the true story of Gol Flight 1907, the day aviation's invisible safety net tore apart. Stick around, because the answers will shock you. One collision, 154 lives, zero margin for error. Watch now, if you dare to know the truth.
September 29th, 2006. A day etched in the memory of a nation. Deep within the Amazon, a tragedy was about to unfold in the silence. Gol Flight 1907, a brand new Boeing 737, was cruising at 37,000 feet. On board were 154 souls, heading toward their final destination in Brasilia. Unknown to the crew, a smaller Embraer Legacy 600 business jet was flying at the exact same altitude, traveling in the opposite direction on airway UZ6. As the two aircraft closed the distance at nearly 1,000 miles per hour, the electronic safety nets meant to prevent collision remained silent. In a fraction of a second, the unthinkable happened. The Legacy's winglet sliced through the Gol Boeing's left wing, a catastrophic strike at high altitude. While the damaged Legacy managed to stay airborne, Flight 1907 was sent into a violent, uncontrollable spiral, plunging toward the unforgiving jungle below. The silence that followed was deafening. Air traffic controllers in Brazil watched in horror as the primary radar return for Flight 1907 simply vanished. Search and rescue teams faced an impossible task. The crash site was located in one of the most remote and dense regions of the Mato Grosso. For weeks, investigators and military personnel worked in grueling conditions, uncovering the remains of a flight that had no survivors. The nation mourned, but the question remained: how could two modern jets collide in a sky so vast? The investigation turned toward the Legacy's flight deck. Investigators discovered that the Legacy's transponder had been inactive. This rendered the TCA's collision avoidance system invisible to the other aircraft. It was a classic Swiss cheese model of failure. Human error, communication gaps, and technical oversight combined to create a perfect, deadly storm. The tragedy of Flight 1907 led to massive reforms in Brazilian air traffic control and a global conversation about pilot training and cockpit discipline. Today, we remember the 154 lives lost in the Amazon. The Legacy lives on in the safer skies we fly in every single day. As the sun sets over the rainforest, we honor their memory and the lessons learned from the dark day that shattered Brazil.
Picture two aircraft slicing through the endless Amazon sky, hundreds of miles apart, yet doomed to meet in a heartbeat. What began as an ordinary afternoon became Brazil's deadliest commercial aviation tragedy at the time. This is the heartbreaking story of Gol Flight 1907, a mid-air collision that stole 154 lives and forever changed the rules of the sky. At 14:51, a brand new Embraer Legacy 600 lifts off from São José das Campos, bound for the United States. American pilots at the controls. Hours later in Manaus, a Boeing 737-800 Gol Flight 1907 departs for Rio de Janeiro, carrying 148 passengers and 6 crew members. Families, dreams, ordinary lives. Everything routine until one fatal mistake began to unfold. Both aircraft on the same airway, locked at exactly 37,000 feet. The Legacy was cleared to descend, but controllers failed to correct it. Then silently, the Legacy's transponder shuts down, killing the TCA's collision avoidance system. No alerts, no warnings, no escape. Two planes, invisible to each other, racing toward disaster in the vast, empty sky. At 16:56, near Matupa, Mato Grosso, they collide, The Legacy's winglet slices through the Boeing's left wing like a blade. In an instant, the 737 rolls violently, spirals out of control, tearing itself apart in midair. From the cockpit voice recorder, desperate cries. What is happening? Oh my God. Calm, calm. But calm was impossible. 154 souls, falling helplessly into the unforgiving jungle. No one survived. Miraculously, the damaged Legacy declares emergency and lands safely at Kashimbo Air Base. All 7 on board survive. At first, believing they struck something unknown. They had no idea they had just been part of unimaginable tragedy. Investigators uncovered a devastating chain of failures. Wrong altitude clearance, communication breakdown, a silent TCA system. Brazil reformed air traffic control, improved pilot training, and strengthened safety systems. But no reform can bring back 154 lives. Gol Flight 1907 was the impossible made real. Tiny oversights that stole entire futures. We remember them, not with blame, but with resolve. In memory of the 154, may their tragedy make the skies safer.